I could have never been more wrong about a football game in my life than this Dolphins and Broncos game. I was completely wrong about this game. The Broncos got walloped. It was, and look, I still have faith in Russ, man, but this was not the ideal game. When Matt White comes in and 2 for 2 and throws a touchdown pass to Robbie Chosen, right? Robbie Chosen on you. It does not look good. Robbie Chosen had one reception, a 68-yard touchdown in garbage time against Patrick Surtain, your best corner. I don't know if Patrick Surtain, he was gassed, he was fatigued, his hamstrings were tired from trying to chase Tyreek Hill throughout the whole game, but it did not look good on. I mean, where do you start? I mean, Sean Page has got to take this footage and throw it away and say, hey, look, we're gonna start from square one because it did not look good for Miami. For Denver. I mean, your run game was non-existent. Russell Wilson. I mean, he did as much as he could. I mean, you got your number one receiver who fumbled the ball and lost the ball twice, and also in the red zone. Cortland Sutton's got to do better as far as holding the ball. I mean, he has a history of doing this. You're starting to get some of your receivers back, but I mean, they came out the gate. The Dolphins came out the gates running and gunning. I mean, Tua literally was nearly perfect. The highest quarterback rating you can get is 158.6. He had 155.8. 22 for 26. Listen. Almost every 3 to 4 throws, every 5 throws, he was throwing a touchdown. 4 touchdowns, 309. Tyreek Hill 9 for 157, 1 tub. Robbie Chosen 1 for 68. That was from Matt White. Raheem Mostert 7 for 60. Devin A-Chain, which I thought was a dog. He was a dog at A&M. I watched him run the ball. He was a dog. 4 for 2. I mean, look at some of these stat lines you got. Devon A-Chain had 18 carries for 203, 2 touchdowns, and he had 4 receptions, 30 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Raheem Mostert had 3 touchdowns on 13 carries for 82 yards, and then he had seven receptions for 60 yards and 1 touchdown. So your running backs all together put up 7 touchdowns. I'm sorry, 8 touchdowns, and that's unheard of. 8 touchdowns from 2 guys, and the most points scored, since I think the 20s or whatever. And they easily could have kicked the field goal to make it 7-3 and got the record. But it was a field day for Tua and the boys. Do I think that the Broncos defense is that bad? No. But if you can't stop the run and you have no pass rush, they rushed for 350. The Dolphins had 350 on the ground, 5 touchdowns, and then 376 through the air and 5 touchdowns. I mean, Mike McDaniel. The thing about Mike McDaniel, he's so oblivious to like you can't get mad at Mike McDaniel, right? Like Sean Payton couldn't get mad at him, but you can't get mad because he doesn't know, he doesn't know any better. He's so much of an oaf, he doesn't know any better. That's Mike McDaniel's MO. When he loses, he scratches his head. When he wins, he scratches his head. That's just kind of how he operates. Tua had a phenomenal game. 158.3 is actually the top because Matt White actually got 158.3. Russ didn't do too bad. I mean, where do you go from this? I mean, are the Dolphins real? I think the Dolphins are real if they stay healthy. I still think their defense is questionable. I still think there's some things up in the air as far as their defense. I do like Xavier Howard, Holland as well too. Deshaun Elliott, they got some guys. Javon Holland, they got some guys on defense. I think are sound even before they came. But I mean, there's Bradley Chubb. Where's Jalen? He's not even Jalen Phillips. You got some dogs on defense. You got a sound defense. I still think that against the better teams, they're gonna really figure out who the Dolphins really are. Against the top teams. We know they're a top team, but how they fare against top teams. Like I don't think the Chargers are a top team. I don't think the Patriots are a top team. I don't think the Broncos are. The Bills are going to be a big test. I don't think the Bills are a top team either, but the Bills are going to be a test. New York Giants, Panthers, Eagles, that's going to be a test. Patriots. So you got a stretch where you're going to play some tough teams. I don't think the Patriots are a top team, but I think they're going to do better than they did the first time. You got the Chiefs. So you have a tough schedule coming up. Miami does not have an easy schedule. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they do going into the, finishing out the first part of the season and going into their mid-season stretch. But yeah, not the ideal game for the Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos really got to regroup. It's not how you want to start the season off of. I mean, like I mentioned before, you lost 2 games by 2 points and 1 point. Fortunately, you have the Bears, the Jets coming up next. So great way to get your confidence up before you go battle the Chiefs on I think it's a Monday or Sunday night game, and at Arrowhead. But then you got the Packers and you got the Chiefs again. So it's going to be tough. Russell Wilson said it was embarrassing, 110% embarrassing. It wasn't as bad as it looked in the first half. There were a lot of mistakes. You had 3 turnovers. This team didn't turn over the ball one time. Dolphins didn't turn over the ball one time. So I was completely wrong on this one, and I'm the first one to admit when I'm wrong. Hey, look, I was wrong. The Dolphins look good. It will be great to see how they look next week against Buffalo. Are they going to Buffalo? Let me see if they're going to Buffalo. They're in Buffalo, so that's going to be a good test for them. So we'll see, but yeah, it did not look good at all on the Dolphins front. I mean, on the Broncos front. The jury's still going to be out, right? The jury's still going to be out for the Dolphins as far as being a top team. I think the Broncos will eventually get it together. It's tough. It's the beginning of the season. There's a lot going on. You had some guys out, so not the showing that the Broncos wanted to have. They really got destroyed bad. I'm talking record book destroyed.